Hello and welcome back to my channel. Uh, we're gonna finally polish the good opal that we've seen for a couple of videos now. Um, I I managed to improve the shape a little bit. The color is still very good. Um, so the hope is that these little marks disappear. And I'm all set up because I've been doing it for a short while. I was doing previous opals, so I didn't. So everything is all set up. That's going to make it much faster. Um, let's get going. I don't pretend to know how the polish work. All I know is that I just rub my opal in it, and well, it gets shinier by without water, which is good because not everybody wants to walk around with a bottle of water to spray on their opals, whether they be pendants or rings, earrings. Sometimes you just can't spray water on it to make it shiny, so that's why we polish them. So this part is very relaxed. I don't have to worry so much about overdoing it. Shape doesn't change. It's just a question of making sure that every part of the surface of the opal is well well rubbed, and that's going to give us our color. I think I can turn this. So this is exciting because after tonight I should be able to have an idea of the value of the opal and ask more knowledgeable people what they think it's worth. I'm I'm not convinced I will turn in a profit. I'm also not convinced I will lose money, but I think it's more likely I lose money than I hit the jackpot. Uh, but these are the risks. You can never tell. If it had been a guaranteed shot, it would have been much more expensive. So the risk is part of the fun. Let me check without that. Yeah, actually, this is better uh, for you because you see without all the reflection. I think I'm gonna add a bit more of water because it's getting dry. see. Yeah, so it's clearly not ready, but I think we're getting some improvement because it's already dry, and we do see the color appear. Of course, there we go, and this is without light, only the ambient light, which is really not that strong. So that's always a good sign if you can get the color to show without any artificial assistance. Side switch. Right now I'm doing mostly the lower part of the edges, um, just to get a nice shiny coat everywhere, not just on the top. I like what I'm seeing right now. It seems to be getting quite polished. Looks like it still needs a bit at the top because I still see some tiny marks. But overall, I think we're getting there already. it's always difficult to know how long this process is gonna take. Uh, Simply because the opals just don't um, react the same way. For example, one of the opals in my video, the blue one, in my intro video, the blue one, uh, I I polished it for overall probably an hour and a half, and still its polish is not as good as I've had on others that I've only spent 10 minutes being rubbed in the cerium oxide. I think the lens have disappeared. Not quite. I still slightly see them, but I expect 2 minutes should take care of that. Of course, when we're talking about um, moderate values, I mean, of course, we're not talking about a few $1,000s opal here, but even then, we're not also not talking about a $5 opals. At least I hope. So I think that spending a couple of minutes more is a rather good investment. Of course, I'm not doing this solely for the money. Money is useful. Money allows me to buy more opals that I can carve and distract myself with, but I'm, well, doing this as a hobby. That's why I don't have an expensive machine. I don't have an expensive camera. I don't have a microphone. I'm really just doing this for fun, in front of the camera sometimes, and in front of the telly the rest of the time. So all right, let's give it another look. I still feel like I see some of the lines here. Now let's give it a look with the flashlight. Well, they're not really visible with the flashlight anymore. So it must have been my imagination. So actually, we're done with this one. Let's see with this flashlight. Let's stop shaking. I said let's stop shaking. So there you have it, my first good opal. I'm not quite sure of the weight yet. Maybe I should check that. I'm gonna do it actually after I show you the other ones, just so that because that will allow me to move all the mess that's here. Camera off. Not camera. Flash off. So that here is the color that's really nice, and I think there's, yep, here's the other angle. We see it very well. I will need to wash my hands. So let's take it off the stick. So before, what I was doing were this one, which is, I mean, the color is already great even without the camera from any angle, even without the flash from any angle. So that's actually very nice. Unfortunately, there's a lot of patch on the sides, but it was too small. I couldn't handle it anymore, so I had to leave it there, and it's actually very small overall. So that's a bit of a bummer, but I'm not gonna complain. And I'm gonna remove this one after. I'm gonna weight all of these. This one has also got a fantastic flash, even without a color. It's a bit smaller, it's an irregular shape, so I don't think it's extremely valuable because it's also directional quite a bit. But it's, I think it's a nice companion piece. And this one, I don't know if it's actually gonna show. Yeah, you see some of the ends of blue. You also see my chandelier. I wonder if I can get any of the other colors to show up. Maybe with the light on. All these scratches I couldn't remove anymore, so sadly they're there to stay, but still we see this flash here is pretty nice. There's the blue on the top edge. And you see this blue down, blue to the other side, red flash. So it's not fantastic, but it's got a few nice flashes. So now I'm gonna move this, take out my trusted scale. So time to see how much this little piece weighs. My hope is 1.2 carats, 1.3 maybe. And we're at 1.05 or 1, so let's say 1.02. So a bit smaller than I thought. A bit smaller than I expected. I started with a stone. It was roughly 3 carats, but well, there was the sand on one of the sides. Don't even ask me which one anymore. That kind of ruined it. Um, but there you have it. Come on, I know you're more than that. Anyway, there you have it. Next video is probably going to be some more carving, or I'm still not sure of the order, but this chapter is closed, and I'll see you in the next one.